So now we have the cables connected down here. Now the next step is to remove this panel to install the light strip. We can actually change the color of the light strip using the car infotainment system. So now you see that it's green. If I change to blue, what happens? Hi there and welcome to TechFlower and welcome to my Tesla Model Y. I've previously installed an additional light strip to my car that has the main functionality of showing the blind spot detection better. And it has some additional features as well. So I'm really happy that TesStudio sent over their version of such a light strip. It has the blind spot detection as well, but also some other functionality, and it will be interesting to see what additional features it has compared to the other one. I won't do a direct comparison between these in this video, but if you want to see the installation and test of the other light strip, please check out my channel and you'll find it there. But now we're going to unbox this light strip from TesStudio and install it in my car and see how it works. So let's check the content of the box. So it's a really simple box, just a cardboard box, and I've already cut the tape of the box so we can open it and see what we got. All right, the first that we've got is a warning and disclaimer and also some support QR code. So it says it has 1 year warranty, and we also have a QR code for installation videos. I don't think I need that because I'm doing one now, but this is really nice. So then we have the light strip itself in this plastic bag. We get some electrical tape. That's really nice because I'm quite sure we need that. Then we get some cables and a spudger tool. And then I see we get some additional double-sided tape, it seems. That's really nice. And then we get this plastic thingy. And this is to route the cables into the correct places. So enough of the unboxing. So let's just go to the installation. So when taking the light strip out of the bag, I noticed that there wasn't any double-sided tape on it. So off camera, I've added that to the light strip. So it's probably because of different installation methods, whether it's a Model Y or Model 3. So the first thing we should do is to remove some panels because we have to get access to some connectors that are behind here. So I would start by loosening up the weather seal a little bit so it's easy to remove the panels. So just pull on it. It's not glued, so you can just leave it like this. Then remove this panel. And then this purger tool comes in handy. We just put it down here or up here. Try to force it open here with the spudger tool. I'm trying to let you see what I'm doing here. It should be quite easy to get under here. Let's see. There it went. So it popped out. So it has some clips here. Just go and loosen them up, and then there are some clips over here. Just pull it out. So you see those here, all these clips. So that's one out. Now we need to remove this panel here, but first we have to remove one clip here before we do that. So to remove the clip, we use the other side of the spudger tool and just go under the clip like this and try to get it out. Maybe go on top like this, trying to let you see what I'm doing. And now it popped out. So just take the clip out like this and put it to the side. And now we should be able to loosen this panel here. Just pull it out. It's maybe easier to pull it up here at the bottom first. Like this, and then drag it out. So here you see a lot of cables, and there are two connectors we need to connect to. It's the power connector, which is already connected to the current light strip, and then we have on the inside here the OBD connector. It's a little bit difficult to show you where that is, but we could actually connect it to this one, which is from the other light strip. But we're gonna disconnect that one and connect to the original OBD port of the car. So I'll connect the cables and then I'll bring you closer to show you exactly where I connected those. So we have a small pin here that we should press in to loosen the cable, and then we should be able to lift it up like this. And down at the bottom here, this is the connector for the car, the power, and this is the power for the car as well. So this is the Tesla original connector that was originally here. So if you haven't installed anything yet, this one is originally connected here, and you have to unplug that. And then we have the OBD connector in here, and you can't see it, but there's a small pin that you push in on the OBD connector that is already connected here, and then goes out the cables for the current light strip, and we will just keep those cables hidden down here. So this is the cable that came with the light strip. We have the OBD connector here. It's all very well marked AMD CAN plug 2+1, and we have an additional OBD port on the cable, so if we want to connect some other accessory we can do that and daisy chain. So then we have the power cables as well that we need to plug in here and then connect the Tesla power into this one. So let's start by plugging in the OBD connector into the OBD port of the Tesla. I will show you where this is placed, and this clicks in like this. Just to briefly show you the OBD port that I connected earlier, this is the port and this is the connector I was connecting to it. And this clip that you have to press down to loosen it up is just this one. It's a little bit tight and difficult to show you here, but this is it. And then the power goes in like here. See, we have to use the right one. So Model Y, yeah, we have here AMD power and then Model Y and Highland. So we need to use this one. So please use the correct cable. The correct one will fit. And then we have to plug the power to this end to get power to the whole thing. So this one is in place. So now we have power to the cable, but we haven't connected the light strip to anything. Next up is to connect the control unit for the light strip to power. The cable is already connected to the control unit itself, but we have to connect this black one to the control unit, and that's simply matching those. We have a little hook here. It should match with this clip. So simply connect it like this, and that's stuck. And then this white port here is the one that will connect to the light strip. So we might want to test the light strip out before we install it. So let's connect it briefly, and we directly see that the light strip turns on. The light is on this side, but we cannot connect it right away because we have to thread the cable up to the panel. So we disconnect it for now again. So now we have the cables connected down here. Now the next step is to remove this panel to install the light strip. So I have to warn you, it's a little bit difficult to remove this panel, but we can use the spudger tool that came with the kit to help us out. So just go on both sides and remove the panel, and just go slowly so you're not damaging anything. Just put the spudger tool under here to help us pry it open, And it's a little bit easier now for me because I've already done this once. So it's popping up much easier than last time. So popping this up all the way, and I would recommend removing it all the way, because that makes space to properly install the light strip. So just take your time removing the panel, and I will speed through this footage. So now the panel is loose, and it looks like this. And you see that I have another light strip here. But since I have another light strip, I'm going to attempt to put this light strip under this panel instead, so I don't have to remove the old one. So let's do that. So let's put it like this. And now we have to know how far this light strip should go. How long is it? And we have to make sure that the light part, the white part here, is facing this way. So when I turn this around and put it back on, this is in the right spot. So let's just find the length. Let's see. I hope you can see it. Seems to be, if you look at the inner border here, it seems to be about 1.5 centimeters here. So let's see if we can remove the small plastic cover on the double-sided tape, like this. And we shouldn't remove it all the way. Just bend it outwards, like this. And hopefully this can stick to the fabric, like this. And then we can just try to keep it as close to the edge as possible, and then drag the small plastic cover on the double-sided tape over, and try to make it as straight as possible. I will speed through this footage and show you the final result. So now it's fastened under the panel here, and hopefully it sticks well enough under the panel, and it's hopefully quite centered. So now we have to get this cable down here so we can connect it. So then we get this plastic thing here, and we need to feed it down the hole here to get it out somewhere here. So let's do that. Let's feed it down here. We have another cable, so hopefully we can feed both of them through here. So just take your time, get the cable down here and see where it ends up. Okay. So it popped out here. It didn't go the same way as the other cable, but that's fine. Since if you get the cable out, then the actual route doesn't really matter. So now we got the plastic tool through. So the next thing we need to do is to connect this one with the electrical tape that was provided. So now we just have to put some electrical tape around the cable here so it goes through. And we don't want to lose the cable on the way. So I'm just gonna put it a little bit over here. Not going to make it high. Better to have it wide because there is a limited space through here. So just do a few rounds. That should be enough. And then we slowly drag it through. You have to make sure you're not just dragging it through, because then you might rip the cable or lose it behind here. So let's just feed it through and follow it also on this side. So just slowly getting it to the right place And let's see, yep, we got the cable out. So we can take the electrical tape off. So now we got the cable through. We should connect everything here, so we know how much slack we have here to place the panel back on. So now we have the control box, and we have this white little connector, and we should connect it to this one. And if you did everything right, we see that the light strip is turning on, and you get this red flowing light coming here. So we know it's working. So now, since everything is connected and we see that the light strip is working, we should tidy up the cables down here and put back the panels. So I would recommend putting some electrical tape around the connection so it doesn't get loose. Just take a little small piece and just put it around the connection like this. Just make it secure like this. And then we have to route this down here somehow. And let's use this electrical tape that we have here to secure the cables down here. So we have some clips here that the panels are going through, so we have to make sure that those are not the cable is not blocking those. So we have a Tesla cable here, so let's use some electrical tape and fasten the cable around there and make sure we have some slack up here. Seems to be enough slack to put it down here. Let's give it some extra slack just to be sure, and just put some electrical tape around it here so it's not moving. And we have to just put this back here somehow. We have a lot of cables here now. Just put it back here. It's plenty of space for cables in here. Like this. And down here. I think that's fine. We have the control unit here. We can put it here safely, and this should be all fine. The panel will just go in here and hide all this cable mess here. So like this. So before we tidy up down here, let's put the panel on and make sure that everything is working, and then we tidy up down here. So now just carefully place the panel back, and since we have some clips here, I would recommend using some electrical tape to keep this safe, and just put some electrical tape over the cable here so it's not blocking any clips. And this one needs to go here, so it should be safe putting one electrical tape on the cable there, so we're not blocking the end clip of the panel here. So just like this. So just align the panel and then press it down. So now this panel is in place, and we see that the light strip is still working. So let's tidy up the mess down here. Now we start with this big panel here, and now it's the opposite way. We push it in first and then press it down. So there are some clips back here that should go in like this, and then some big clips here. Let's see if we can align those. This needs to go like this. We have some cables peeking out here. Just put them back. So it seems like it's getting in place. So just putting the clips down here, and this one is still peeking out. So let's dig it in like this. Now we have to put back the clip that was here, and that's just keeping the clip open, pressing it into the hole like this, and then closing it, and that's stuck. And now it's just the little piece here that goes back here, and since we use some electrical tape for the cable, it's not in the way of the clips, so we don't have to worry about that. So just put it like this, and that's back in place. And now it's just fixing the weather seal, putting it back in place, and that's just pressing it. And it might be good to put it back down here first, like this. Just press it firmly, and that will go into place. So now that everything is connected and all the panels are in place, let's check out the functionality of this light strip. Future me here. I have to let you know that I don't recommend putting the light strip under the panel as I did, because as you see here, it's not sticking very well. It might stick better if you have a better double-sided tape, but as you can see here, when I put the light strip on the panel below this panel, it works much better. I just wanted to tell you, so you don't make the same mistake I did. So now the light strip has been installed, and what you immediately see is the TesStudio light strip is with the same color as the Tesla light strip. And that's the cool part about this light strip from TesStudio. We can actually change the color of the light strip using the car infotainment system. So now you see that it's green. If I change to blue, what happens? We get blue on the TesStudio light strip as well, and of course on the Tesla light strip. We can have purple and orange. I actually like the green one. So you don't have to fiddle with the scroll wheel to scroll through different colors to try to find the color you want. So this is really nice. So we can also simply turn it off, and that also syncs with the Tesla light strip. And if you put it on, it will turn on along with the Tesla light strip. And night only feature should work. Yep, it also turns off. But since it's daylight now, it of course isn't turning on. But let's turn it on, and let's see, we also have brightness control. You see, the TesStudio light strip at least now seems to be a little bit brighter than the Tesla light strip, but I think we can also lower the brightness. Let me see. It does not seem to follow the brightness of the Tesla light strip, but TesStudio told me that that's something that is coming to these light strips. But at least it's really cool that we can simply select a color in the Tesla infotainment system, and this light strip actually just picks that color as well. Really easy. So let's see, can we also use the scroll wheel to change the color? Nope. So it's only the touchscreen to change the light color. So now we've seen that the light strip syncs with the Tesla light strip color, but now let's check the functionality of the light strip. So let's take it for a drive. Let's use the blinkers, and you see that we get a portion of the light strip blinking green. And since our light strip is green, it's kind of the same color. So the blinkers are working, and of course on this side as well. We can actually change the light strip color so it's not matching with the green color. Let's make it orange. And when we do use the turn signal, you see the green blinking light. And now we're actually in the sun, but we can still see the light strip quite clearly in the sun. So that's really nice. We can turn this screen off, And let's try to get the blind spot detection. And you see here we get the red line in front of me, and that is indicating that I'm going over the speed limit. The speed limit on this small road here is 30 and I'm at 36. So it's just showing me that I'm over the speed limit, which is really nice. And we can again change the color of the light strip. We could make it purple. That's really nice. That's a nice color. Let's keep it that way while we're driving. So let's go down here, go to a little bigger road so we can test out autopilot functionality. It might have some nice color animation while we're in autopilot. So now we have the gray steering wheel, and let's put an autopilot and see if the light strip does anything specific for the autopilot. I'm not seeing anything specific for the autopilot. Simply syncing with the Tesla light strip color. So let's take autopilot off and let's find a road where we can test the blind spot detection. Trying the autopilot again. And now we actually get some animation for the autopilot. We get these 3 colors on the side here. We get blue, green and red. I don't know why we didn't get that earlier, but we actually get some animation for the autopilot. And if I turn my turn signal on and the car switches lane automatically, we have the turn signal, and when it's gone we get back the autopilot color on the sides here. That's really cool. And we still should get the blind spot detection on the sides here, even though we have the autopilot colors on the light strip. Coming into a 50 zone, and I hope you see it, even though we have a little bit of sun, we get the red indicator here because we're over 50. So now we're coming to a road where we have 2 lanes in the same direction, and you see here that the turn signal is red because this Jeep was not going to let us into the road. So that is the blind spot detection. And we see now it's orange, and if I turn my turn signal on, it gets red because it's warning me that there's a car coming. And now my turn signal is green because there is no car on the left side here. Let's try to trigger the blind spot detection again on the right side. And we have a car here on the right, and the blind spot detection pops up. I turn my turn signal on, it's red, but when the blind spot detection goes off, the turn signal goes green and I can safely switch lanes. So the blind spot detection is working really well, and let's do the autopilot once more and get these awesome colors for the autopilot. Let's turn the autopilot off again. And even though I turned autopilot off, I still have the autopilot colors now for some reason. So let's put autopilot on again. And now we get the blind spot detection on the right here. And I hope you see that it's in sync with the Tesla blind spot detection lights that pop up on the black panels on each side. And let's turn off autopilot. And I don't know if you saw it, but the autopilot lights went off before I took it off. So there's a little bit inconsistency in the sync here when we get the autopilot lights. And you actually see the blind spot detection on both sides now because we have cars on both sides. So let's put it autopilot on for the last time. We get the autopilot lights on both sides now. Let's see, when we have a blind spot detection, it's still on the right side, even though we have a blind spot detection on the left side. So that's really good. There's one thing I want to try. I'm not sure if it works, but let's see. If I go in here and increase the heat. Yes, indeed. We get a red line going all the way through the whole light strip, showing me that I was increasing the heat. And what if I lower the heat? Then we get a blue line going all the way from the right side over to the left side. That's really cool. I'm wondering if something happens if I increase the fan speed or decrease. If I decrease the fan speed, yep, I get the same blue line if I decrease the fan speed going from the right to the left, and if I increase the fan speed, I get the red light going all the way to the left of the light strip, all the way to the right. That's really cool. That's a neat feature, but not maybe very useful, but fun to have indeed. According to TesStudio, I'm supposed to be able to change the mode of the light strip. If I press the left scroll wheel for 2 seconds and then press the right scroll wheel, but I don't see anything happening when I do that. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, but it's supposed to be able to switch between the normal light mode and also a mode where I get a red extending light when I accelerate, and then when I decelerate, the lights goes back. But I am not getting that to work. I'm pressing the left scroll wheel for 2 seconds, 1001, 1002, and then pressing the right scroll wheel, but I don't see anything happening with the light strip. And there's also supposed to be some kind of a breathing mode where the light strip just goes in and out with the light, but I'm not getting that to work either. So maybe I'm just not getting it, but it's supposed to be, like I said, holding the left scroll wheel for 2 seconds and then clicking the right scroll wheel to change between the different modes, but I'm not getting that to work. But checking the colors a little bit again, if we put this green one on, we have a pink, and we can actually just do whatever color we want. That's the nice thing about it. We can have a red one, we can have blue, we can have cyan, and you can see that it of course doesn't match every color of the Tesla. It's difficult with different lights. These are different light strips, but it's actually trying to match it. So the green one actually matches quite well. The Tesla one is a little bit dimmer, but if we increase the color of the Tesla light strip, these are a little bit closer in color. So let's switch back to the purple one. And as I showed you, we have the turn signals, and those are really wide and nice, and you can clearly see them. And when you open the driver door, you should be able to get that the driver door is open, but now you see that there is some animation coming, and now we see that the door is open. So if you close the door, it just goes back to purple. So we did get some animation when we are leaving the car. We get a green line going over there, and then we get the red that shows that the door is open. So this was the blind spot light strip from TesStudio, and I'm really liking it. And to be able to choose the color from the screen in the Tesla, that's a really nice feature. Instead of having to go through different colors by just scrolling on the scroll wheel. And this is possible in the new Model Y. For the Model 3, you unfortunately have to use the scroll wheel, but if you just scroll and find the color that you want, that's of course really easy as well. So if you want your own light strip like this, please go to TesStudio.com or go to the direct link in the video description. And before you do your checkout, please remember to use the discount code TechPlower, and you will get some generous discount on your purchase. And if you like this video, please check out my other content on my channel, and please consider subscribing, because it really helps my channel grow. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. See you in the next video.